Hey everyone, tonight is Italian night in our house, and so we're gonna make individual lasagna bowls tonight. The video is gonna be a little different as we're gonna do it in a couple of different sections, and so you'll see some phasing in between the videos tonight just to conserve on time. I try to keep the videos down so they're not so overwhelmingly long. So I've already browned in the pan here 1 pound of ground turkey and 1 pound of turkey sausage. Put them all together just to give it that Italian flair with the sausage in there. And I'm gonna turn my oven back on, or my stovetop back on, because we've already browned it up, already broken up, already flavored it and seasoned it with some salt and pepper and garlic powder and drained the fat off of the meat. So I'm gonna turn the stovetop back on. And now we're going to create the meat sauce that is going to go into the lasagna cups or individual lasagna pans. And so we're going to take our 15-ounce can of tomato sauce, and we're just going to pour this on the top here. And get all the goodness out. And then we are going to add to that 1.5 packs of Italian spaghetti sauce mix. The half of a pack, because 2 pounds, I sometimes feel like 1 packet doesn't make it season up enough, and then it kind of leaves it flat. And so when I make 2 pounds of ground meat, I always add 1.5 packs. And you can just make it according to package directions. There's nothing special about the seasoning packs themselves. I just prefer to use the seasoning packs versus using like a can of spaghetti sauce mix. You can control the carbohydrates better in that capacity. So we're creating our meat sauce here. And then the next portion of the video, we're gonna create the filling that's gonna go in each of the lasagna pans. All right, so we got our spaghetti sauce, or the meat sauce, made, and it's warming up on the stove and staying warm. So now we're gonna make the ricotta cheese step. So I have used 15 ounces of whole milk ricotta cheese. And with that, I just sprinkled in a little bit of Italian seasoning and a little bit of garlic powder, and then 2 tablespoons of grated Parmesan cheese. This happens to be Parmesan with Romano cheese. Doesn't have to be the Romano cheese. You can just use simply grated Parmesan cheese if that's what you had on hand. This is what we had on our hands tonight. So we're going to stir that all together here. And I did use about a tablespoon of heavy whipping cream just to loosen it up, because when I first started to mix it together earlier, it wasn't combining really well. So I did put about 1 tablespoon of heavy whipping cream just to loosen it up. And now it's all mixed together, and we're ready for assembly of our lasagnas. All right, so now we've got our ricotta cheese made, and now it's time to assemble our individual lasagnas. You certainly do not have to make the lasagnas individual if you don't want to. You could definitely make this in one 9x13 pan if that would be easier for you, but we kind of thought it makes it fun. It makes it individual for the kids. Everybody feels like they get their own little personal pan pizza. Remember the personal pan pizzas if you were in the Pizza Hut book club? I do. Anyway, it was fun when you got that little bit of just for you goodness. And so I'm going to be using these little mini pie pans. I was going to use a ceramic ramekin, however, they don't work in the oven under the broiler. They will crack and break. And so I did go to the store and I got these individual little pie pans so they'll work better underneath the broiler. So always make sure that you check your baking ware to make sure that it is oven and, more importantly, broiler safe. So I have measured out 4 ounces of our spaghetti sauce meat, and we're going to start that out on the bottom. So we're going to put 2 ounces on the bottom of our pan. And then we are going to take 1 ounce of penne pasta. Now this is the impastable penne pasta. This is the low carb pasta. Remember, I used this back when we made the chicken Alfredo bake. And so you can pick this pasta up at StrongPour or Wellness District. It is only 7 grams of net carb. Important if you're going to keep this a low carb recipe that you use the impastable penne pasta. So have 1 ounce of the penne pasta that we are just going to sprinkle in over the top of our meat layer. Spread that around. And then I have 1/4 of a cup of the ricotta cheese mixture, and we're going to spread that out over the top of our noodles and sauce here. I'll use the help of my other spatula. There we go. And then we're going to take the rest of our spaghetti sauce mix, or the leftover 2 ounces that we have already measured out. Now, why did I measure all of this out? Well, 1, we want to make sure that it's all going to fit into our individual little pie pans, but 2, it's important that we do consider portion size when thinking of our nutrition. Sometimes when something tastes really good, we can overeat or overconsume the actual recommended portion size of something. And that can be a huge sabotage for a lot of people when they're achieving their goals. Even though this is a lower carb dish, if you had 2 of these little pie pans, for example, now you're getting twice the amount of carbs, twice the amount of calories. And if you don't have that in your budget for your calories, carbs, and proteins for the day, that could definitely reduce your results that you're looking to see on the scale. So always measure serving sizes. One thing that I did while measuring out this stuff is using individual measuring cups and a food scale. If you don't have these, I recommend that you pick them up, because it definitely makes it easier to achieve your goals when you know what you're actually consuming. So now I have my meat sauce, my ricotta cheese mix, my noodles, and all combined. And now I'm going to take a 1 ounce slice of fresh mozzarella cheese, and I'm going to put that right on the top there. We're gonna put this little pan into the oven under the broiler, and we're gonna put it under the broiler for 10 minutes. And this cheese is going to melt down over the top of all of this, and the rest of the ingredients are gonna heat up. And boom, there you have it. You have an individual lasagna for your family. This little serving size is 401 calories. It is 15 grams of net carb, which is approximately 3 teaspoons of sugar, and it is 34 grams of protein. A really hearty meal, all in this one little pan. Another great thing about this little pan is that you can now freeze this and get it out and make it at another time. When people are busy in life, it's always about that convenience, and that would be an easy way to meal prep this if you'd like to as well. So I've already got my oven heating up underneath the broiler, and I'm going to put my little pan under here. And in about 10 minutes, we're going to have cheesy, gooey Italian goodness. Now that's a sweet deal.